He had 10 minutes to save her. What happened next will break your heart. The blood on her hands. The first thing Detective Marcus Kane noticed when he kicked open the door wasn't the shattered glass or the overturned furniture. It was the woman standing in the center of the wreckage with blood covering her trembling hands and a gun pointed directly at his chest. "Don't move," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Please just don't move." Marcus raised his hands slowly, his trained eyes scanning the scene in milliseconds. 3 unconscious men lay scattered across the luxury apartment. One near the window, another by the kitchen entrance, the third crumpled against an expensive leather sofa. All breathing. All alive. But barely. Welcome to Heartbound Ashes. Welcome to my channel Heartbound Ashes. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more emotional romance stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. The woman holding the gun was maybe 28, with dark hair falling across a face streaked with tears and what looked like someone else's blood. Her designer dress was torn at the shoulder. Her bare feet were cut and bleeding on the broken glass. And her eyes, those haunted green eyes, held a terror Marcus had seen too many times in his 15 years on the force. "I'm Detective Kane," he said, keeping his voice low and steady. "I need you to lower the weapon. Nobody else has to get hurt tonight." "You don't understand," she gasped. "They'll send more. They always send more." "Who will send more?" "My father." Those 2 words changed everything. Marcus had been tracking the Castellano crime family for 3 years. Victor Castellano controlled half the city's underground operations, drugs, weapons, human trafficking. He was untouchable, protected by dirty cops, corrupted judges, and an army of loyal soldiers. And according to every file Marcus had read, Victor Castellano had only one weakness. His daughter, Isabel. The woman standing before him, broken and terrified, was supposed to be in Paris. Safe, protected, far away from her father's bloody empire. But here she was, in a penthouse Marcus had been surveilling for weeks, surrounded by 3 of her father's most dangerous enforcers. "You're Isabel Castellano," Marcus said. She flinched at the name. "I was. Not anymore." "What happened here?" Isabel's hand shook harder, the gun wavering. "They came to bring me back. My father found out I've been helping the FBI build a case against him. These men, they were supposed to kill me and make it look like a suicide." Marcus's pulse quickened. "You're the FBI's informant? The one they've been calling Shadow?" She nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. "For 18 months I've been feeding them everything. Bank accounts, shipping routes, witness names. Everything. But someone inside the bureau is working for my father. Someone told him it was me. Lower the gun, Isabel. I can protect you." "No one can protect me from Victor Castellano." Her voice cracked. "He owns this city. He owns the police. He probably owns you." Marcus took a careful step closer. "I've spent 3 years trying to bring your father down. I've lost my partner, my marriage, and damn near my mind chasing him. If you're really Shadow, if you really have evidence that can end him, then you're the most valuable person in this city right now. And I will die before I let anyone take you." Something in his voice made Isabel's resolve waver. The gun lowered slightly. "Why should I trust you?" "Because those men will wake up soon," Marcus said, gesturing to the unconscious bodies. "And when they do, they'll call for backup. You've got maybe 10 minutes before this building is surrounded by people who want you dead. So you can trust me or you can try to survive alone. Your choice." Isabel stared at him for 3 endless heartbeats. Then the gun clattered to the floor. Her knees buckled. Marcus caught her before she hit the ground, pulling her against his chest as violent sobs racked her body. She smelled like expensive perfume and gunpowder and fear. "I'm so tired," she whispered against his shoulder. "I'm so tired of running." "Then stop running," Marcus said. "Let me fight for you." He pulled out his phone and dialed the one person he still trusted. "Captain Rodriguez, this is Kane. I need an immediate extraction. I have the Castellano informant." "Yes, sir." "The daughter. We need a safe house, full protection detail, and complete media blackout." "No, I don't trust anyone else with this. Just you and me." As he spoke, Marcus felt Isabel trembling in his arms. She was soft and broken and dangerous all at once. A weapon disguised as a victim. A princess who'd betrayed her king. And somehow in that moment Marcus knew his life would never be the same. Rodriguez's voice crackled through the phone. Kane, there's a problem. We've got reports of 6 vehicles heading to your location. Castellano's men. They know where you are. Marcus looked around the apartment, calculating exits and odds. The penthouse was on the 42nd floor. 1 elevator. 1 stairwell. No escape route that wouldn't end in a gunfight. How long do we have? Marcus asked. 4 minutes. Maybe 5. Isabel pulled back, her eyes wide with fresh terror. They're coming for me. We're trapped. Marcus grabbed the gun from the floor and checked the magazine. 3 rounds left. He had his service weapon with a full clip. Not nearly enough if Castellano sent a small army. Listen to me, Marcus said, gripping Isabel's shoulders. I need you to trust me completely. Can you do that? She nodded, searching his face for hope. There's a service elevator at the end of the hall. Maintenance access. It goes straight to the basement parking garage. I parked my car there, black SUV. Plate number to checks, 7749. Keys are in a magnetic box under the front left wheel well. If something happens to me... No, Isabel interrupted. I'm not leaving you. If something happens to me, Marcus continued firmly, you get to that car and you drive to Sacred Heart Church on Maple Street. Ask for Father Michael. Tell him Kane sent you. He'll keep you safe until Rodriguez can extract you. Marcus. Promise me, Isabel. She grabbed his jacket with desperate hands. I promise. But you better not die protecting me, detective. I didn't betray my father just to watch another good man get killed. Marcus felt something twist in his chest. The way she looked at him, fierce and vulnerable and absolutely breathtaking despite the blood and tears, made him want to promise her things he had no right to promise. The building's fire alarm suddenly screamed to life. Red emergency lights flashed in the hallway. They're here, Isabel whispered. Marcus pulled her toward the door, his gun raised, his body positioned between her and any threat. His mind raced through tactical scenarios, calculating survival odds that grew slimmer by the second. As they stepped into the hallway, Marcus heard the elevator ding. The doors slid open. And standing in the elevator, surrounded by 6 armed men in expensive suits, was a man Marcus recognized from 1,000 surveillance photos. Victor Castellano smiled like a shark scenting blood. Hello, princess, he said to his daughter. Did you really think you could run from me? What happens when a father becomes the monster, and a stranger becomes the only hope for survival? Romance, emotional conflict, and secrets. The devil wears Armani. Victor Castellano stepped out of the elevator with the confidence of a man who'd never lost anything he truly wanted. He was 62 but moved like someone 20 years younger. His silver hair perfectly styled, his tailored suit probably worth more than Marcus's annual salary. But it was his eyes that made Marcus's blood run cold, empty of everything except cold calculation. Marcus Kane, Victor said, his Italian accent subtle but present. The detective who thinks he's a hero. I've read your file. Quite impressive. West Point graduate, decorated Marine, 13 commendations for bravery. You should be running this city's police force by now. Instead, you waste your talents chasing ghosts. Ghosts like you. Marcus kept his gun trained on Victor's chest, though he knew the 6 men flanking the crime boss could cut him down in seconds. Victor laughed softly. I'm no ghost, detective. I'm very real. And so is my disappointment in my daughter. His gaze shifted to Isabel, and Marcus felt her flinch behind him. 18 months, Bella. 18 months you betrayed your own blood. The family that loved you, protected you, gave you everything. You gave me a cage, Isabel said, her voice stronger than Marcus expected. You gave me a life built on suffering and death. I'm not your princess anymore, Papa. I'm your enemy. Victor's expression flickered, something almost human crossing his features before vanishing behind the mask of a predator. You break my heart, Isabel. But you also force my hand. You know too much. You've seen too much. And I cannot allow you to testify. She's under police protection, Marcus said. You touch her, and every agency in this country will come after you. Will they? Victor smiled. Do you know how many police officers are on my payroll, Detective Kane? How many judges? Federal agents? Even your precious Captain Rodriguez has accepted certain considerations over the years. Marcus's stomach dropped. You're lying. Am I? Victor gestured to one of his men, who produced a tablet. The screen showed surveillance footage of Captain Rodriguez meeting with a man Marcus recognized as Victor's right hand. Money changed hands. Documents exchanged. No, Marcus whispered. Everyone has a price, Detective. Rodriguez just wanted to pay for his daughter's cancer treatment. A noble reason to compromise one's integrity, wouldn't you say? Isabel grabbed Marcus's arm. Don't listen to him. He manipulates everyone. It's what he does. I speak only truth, Victor said. And the truth is simple. You have nowhere to run. No one to trust. So I offer you a choice, Detective Kane. Walk away. Leave my daughter to me. And I will ensure your career continues unblemished. I will even provide you with information that brings down 3 of my competitors. You will be a hero. Promoted. Wealthy. All you have to do is abandon one woman who was foolish enough to betray her family. Marcus felt the weight of the offer. The temptation of it. 3 years of his life had been consumed by hunting Victor Castellano. Now the man stood before him, offering everything Marcus had sacrificed his marriage, his friendships, his peace of mind to achieve. All he had to do was let Isabel die. Or, Marcus said slowly, I could put a bullet in your skull right now and end this. Victor's smile widened. Then my men kill you both. And Isabel dies knowing her last act was getting another good man murdered. Is that the ending you want, Detective? Isabel stepped around Marcus, placing herself between the 2 men. There's a third option, Papa. You let Detective Kane walk away. I go with you willingly. No more FBI cooperation. No more testimony. I disappear into whatever prison you've prepared for me, and we both know I'll never speak against you again. Isabel, no. Marcus grabbed her wrist. She looked back at him and Marcus saw tears streaming down her face. You can't save me, Marcus. But you can live. Please. Just live. I didn't become a cop to abandon people who need help, Marcus said. You'll die for nothing, Isabel pleaded. Please. I'm not worth it. Marcus stared at this woman he'd known for less than 30 minutes. This broken, beautiful, dangerous woman who'd spent 18 months risking everything to stop her father's empire of suffering. She thought she wasn't worth protecting. She thought her life held less value than his. She was wrong. Victor, Marcus said, turning to the crime lord. You want your daughter? Come take her. But you'll have to go through me first. Victor sighed like a disappointed teacher. Such unnecessary heroism. Very well, Detective. Antonio, kill him. The enforcer nearest Victor raised his weapon. Marcus shoved Isabel to the floor and fired 3 times in rapid succession. The first shot shattered the hallway light, plunging them into near darkness. The second hit Antonio in the shoulder. The third struck the fire sprinkler system overhead. Water exploded from the ceiling in a freezing deluge. Chaos erupted. Victor's men opened fire, but the sudden darkness and water compromised their aim. Marcus grabbed Isabel's hand and ran, pulling her toward the service elevator she'd mentioned. Bullets chewed through the walls around them, sending plaster and wood splinters into the air. The stairs! Isabel screamed over the gunfire. They burst through the stairwell door just as 2 more of Victor's men rounded the corner above them. Marcus fired upward, forcing them to take cover, then half-dragged Isabel down the stairs 3 at a time. Why did you do that? Isabel gasped as they ran. You could have walked away. Maybe I'm tired of walking away from things that matter. Marcus shouted back. They reached the 38th floor landing when the door above them crashed open. Footsteps thundered down the stairs. Marcus's clip was nearly empty. They were 4 floors from the basement with at least 4 armed men chasing them. They weren't going to make it. Marcus pulled Isabel close, his heart hammering against his ribs. The service elevator. Where is it? This floor, she said. Down the hall, last door on the right. Go. Now. I'll hold them off. Marcus. Go, Isabel. She looked at him with an expression that made Marcus's chest ache. Then she kissed him. hard and desperate and tasting of tears and gunpowder and something that felt like goodbye. "You better survive this," she whispered against his lips. "Because I'm not done with you, detective." Then she ran. Marcus turned to face the stairwell, his last 3 bullets ready, his body a shield between Isabel Castellano and the men who wanted her dead. As the footsteps grew closer, Marcus thought about all the choices that had led him to this moment. The cases he'd worked, the criminals he'd caught, the marriage he'd destroyed pursuing justice. Everything had brought him here, to this stairwell, protecting a woman he'd just met but somehow couldn't let go. The door burst open. Victor Castellano stepped through, alone. "Where are your men?" Marcus asked. "I sent them after my daughter," Victor said calmly. "You and I need to talk, detective. Man to man. Warrior to warrior." "I'm not your warrior." "No, but you could be." Victor walked closer, apparently unconcerned about Marcus's gun. "I've been watching you for 2 years, Marcus Kane. Every move you've made against my organization, every case you've built, every corrupt cop you've exposed. Do you know what I see? I see a man who understands power, who recognizes that the law is just theater performed for people too weak to seize what they truly want." "You see wrong," Marcus said. "Do I? Then why are you here alone protecting my daughter?" "Not because the law commands it, but because something inside you, something primal, won't let her die. You're a protector, Marcus. An alpha male in a world that pretends such things don't matter. Join me. Protect Isabel within my organization. She'll live. You'll live. And together we could build something extraordinary." Marcus felt the words like poison, seductive and deadly. Part of him, the part that was tired of losing, tired of fighting a system that seemed designed to let men like Victor win, wanted to accept. "No," Marcus said. Victor's eyes hardened. "Then you're a fool. And fools die young." He pulled a gun from his jacket. Marcus fired first. The bullet struck Victor in the chest, sending the crime lord stumbling backward against the wall. Blood bloomed across his white shirt, dark and spreading. Victor looked down at the wound, then back at Marcus. You actually shot me. You pulled a gun on a police officer," Marcus said, his hand shaking. "What did you think would happen?" Victor smiled through the pain. I thought you'd understand. But you're just another self-righteous hero." He coughed, blood on his lips. "The others will come for her. My brothers. My partners. The families in New York, Chicago, Miami. They won't stop. Not ever." "Then I won't stop either," Marcus said. Victor laughed, a wet, horrible sound. "The detective and the princess. What a tragic story you've written. I almost want to live to see how it ends." He slumped to the floor, his breathing shallow. Marcus stood there, gun still raised, staring at the man he'd hunted for 3 years, now bleeding out on a stairwell floor. He should call for an ambulance, preserve the witness, build the case. Instead, he ran toward the service elevator, toward Isabel, toward a choice that would change everything. He found her waiting by the elevator, tears streaming down her face. "I heard the shot. I thought." "I'm okay," Marcus said. "But your father. Is he dead?" "I don't know. Maybe." Isabel closed her eyes, and Marcus couldn't read the expression that crossed her face. Relief? Grief? Both? "We need to go," Marcus said. "Now." They took the service elevator to the basement, found Marcus's SUV exactly where he'd left it. As they pulled out of the parking garage, police sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. "Where are we going?" Isabel asked. Marcus gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles white. "Somewhere they won't find us. Somewhere we can figure out what the hell happens next." "And if they do find us?" Marcus looked at her, this woman who'd turned his world upside down in less than an hour. "Then I do what I told your father. I protect you, no matter what it costs." Isabel reached across the console and took his hand. "Why? You don't know me. Don't owe me anything. Why would you throw away your entire life for someone you just met?" Marcus didn't have a good answer. Didn't have a logical explanation for the fierce protectiveness that had seized him the moment he saw her with blood on her hands and terror in her eyes. "Because," he said finally, "someone has to fight for people who can't fight for themselves. And right now that someone is me." As they drove into the night, Neither of them saw the black sedan pulling out 3 cars behind them. Neither of them knew that Victor Castellano's last act before losing consciousness was sending a single text message to his brother in New York. And neither of them suspected that the real danger hadn't even begun. When the hunter becomes the hunted, can love survive in the shadows? Resolution, ultimate protection, and suspenseful twist. The safe house that wasn't safe. The cabin sat 40 miles outside the city, hidden in dense Montana woods where cell service was a fantasy, and the nearest neighbor was 15 miles away. Marcus had bought it 3 years ago as an escape from the job, a place to heal wounds the city inflicted. Now it would serve as a fortress. Or a tomb. "It's beautiful," Isabel said as they pulled up the overgrown driveway. Dawn was breaking through the pine trees, painting everything in soft gold and shadow. She looked exhausted, her torn dress covered by Marcus's jacket, her feet still bare and cut. "It's isolated," Marcus corrected. "Which is what we need right now." Inside, the cabin was dusty but functional. 1 bedroom, a small kitchen, a living room with a stone fireplace. Marcus had stocked it with emergency supplies, non-perishable food, medical kits, ammunition. "You prepared for the apocalypse?" Isabel asked, eyeing the shelves lined with supplies. "I prepared for a day I might need to disappear," Marcus said. "Looks like that day finally came." He built a fire while Isabel cleaned her feet and wrapped them in gauze from the medical kit. The silence between them felt heavy with unspoken questions and impossible circumstances. "Your father might be dead," Marcus said finally. "I should feel something about that. Relief. Victory. Instead I just feel tired." Isabel stared into the fire. "I used to imagine the day he'd die. When I was younger, before I understood what he truly was, I thought I'd grieve. Mourn the father I wished he could be. But now," she shook her head, "now I just feel empty. Like I lost him years ago, and killing him was just making it official." Marcus sat beside her on the worn couch. "Tell me about him. The real him. Not the criminal. The father." Isabel's eyes glistened. "He used to read to me every night. Italian fairy tales about princesses and dragons. He'd do all the voices, make me laugh until I couldn't breathe. My mother died when I was 8, and for 2 years afterward Papa was everything. My world. My hero." She wiped tears away angrily. "Then I got older. Started asking questions about his business. Started seeing the fear in people's eyes when they looked at him. Started noticing the blood under his fingernails that he couldn't quite wash away." "When did you know?" Marcus asked softly. "I was 14. I saw him kill a man in our garage. The man had stolen from him. Begged for forgiveness. Papa shot him anyway. Then he turned to me, still holding the gun, and said, 'This is what strength looks like, Bella. Remember that.'" Isabel's voice cracked. "I've been trying to forget for 14 years. Marcus pulled her close without thinking, and she collapsed against his chest, sobbing. He held her while the fire crackled and the sun rose higher, painting the cabin walls with light that felt too gentle for the darkness they'd escaped. "I'm sorry," Isabel whispered eventually. "I shouldn't fall apart. Not after you risked everything for me." "You're allowed to fall apart," Marcus said. "You're allowed to grieve the father you wish you'd had. That doesn't make you weak." She pulled back slightly, studying his face. "Who are you, Marcus Kane? What kind of cop throws away his career, shoots a crime lord, and runs away with a stranger?" "The kind who's tired of watching bad men win," Marcus said. "The kind who's lost too much already to care about losing more." "Your wife." Marcus flinched. "How did you?" "You wear a wedding ring on a chain around your neck," Isabel said gently. "I noticed it when you carried me down the stairs." Marcus touched the ring beneath his shirt, the metal warm against his skin. "Sarah. We were married for 8 years. She left 2 years ago. Said I loved the job more than I loved her. Said I was married to the hunt, not to her. Was she right?" Marcus considered lying, then decided Isabel deserved better. "Probably. I was obsessed. Consumed. Your father became everything to me. Every case, every lead, every night I stayed late at the office instead of coming home. I told myself I was doing it for the victims. For justice. But maybe I was just running from a normal life. I didn't know how to live." And now? Isabel asked. What are you running toward? Marcus looked at this woman who destroyed his career, ended his safety, and somehow made him feel more alive than he had in years. I have no idea. The moment stretched between them, charged with something neither of them wanted to name. Then Isabel leaned forward and kissed him again. Slower this time, deliberate and searching. Marcus knew he should stop. Should maintain professional boundaries. Should remember this was a witness under his protection, not a woman he could. She pulled back, her green eyes fierce. Don't overthink this, detective. We might be dead tomorrow. Tonight, I just want to feel something other than fear. Marcus cupped her face in his hands. I can't promise you tomorrow. Can't promise you safety or a future or anything except that I will fight like hell to keep you alive. Is that enough? It's more than anyone else has ever offered me, Isabel whispered. They came together like drowning people seeking air, desperate and hungry and past caring about consequences. Marcus lifted her, carried her to the bedroom, laid her down with a gentleness that contradicted the urgency burning through him. Afterward they lay tangled together, the afternoon sun slanting through the windows. Isabel traced the scars on Marcus's chest, remnants of battles fought in distant wars and city streets. Tell me we can survive this, she said quietly. Tell me there's a way out where we both live. Marcus wanted to promise her everything. Wanted to be the hero who saves the princess and rides off into the sunset. But he'd spent too many years in the real world to believe in fairy tales. I'll fight for that ending, he said instead. But I need you to fight too. No more running. No more hiding who you are. We face this together or we don't face it at all. Isabel nodded against his chest. Together. They fell asleep as the sun set, holding each other like lifelines in a storm. Marcus woke to the sound of breaking glass. He was on his feet instantly, gun in hand, body positioned between the bedroom door and Isabel. She woke with a gasp, terror flooding her eyes. Stay here, Marcus whispered. Lock the door. Don't come out unless I call for you. Marcus. Lock the door. He moved into the hallway, every sense heightened, his training taking over. The front door hung open, swinging in the night breeze. Glass from the living room window littered the floor. And standing in the center of the room, illuminated by moonlight, was Captain Rodriguez. Lower your weapon, Kane, Rodriguez said, his own gun pointed at Marcus's chest. We need to talk. You're working for Castellano, Marcus said, his voice flat. Victor showed me the footage. How much did he pay you to sell out? Pain crossed Rodriguez's weathered face. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. You took his money. Compromised the investigation. How many people died because you looked the other way? My daughter was dying. Rodriguez shouted. Leukemia. Stage 4. The treatments cost $300,000. Insurance wouldn't cover it. I had nothing. No savings. No options. Victor offered to pay for everything. All I had to do was delay certain arrests. Lose certain evidence. I told myself it wouldn't matter. That we'd still get him eventually. Did your daughter survive? Marcus asked quietly. Rodriguez's hand shook. She's in remission. Thanks to treatments I bought with blood money. So what now? Victor's dead or dying. The debt's paid. You going to kill me and Isabel to protect your secret? Victor's not dead, Rodriguez said, and Marcus felt his world tilt. He's in intensive care. Critical but stable. And very, very angry. Then why are you here? Rodriguez lowered his gun slowly. Because Victor Castellano isn't the only player in this game anymore. When you shot him, when Isabel chose you over her family, you started a war. Every crime family on the East Coast wants her dead. The FBI wants her testimony. The Russians want to use her as leverage. And I. He looked at Marcus with something like respect. I want to make this right. By doing what? By helping you disappear. Really disappear. New identities. New lives. Somewhere Victor's reach can't extend. Marcus studied his captain, trying to read the truth behind the words. Why would you help us? You said it yourself, you're compromised. Helping us means losing everything. I've already lost everything that matters, Rodriguez said. My integrity. My honor. My ability to look my daughter in the eye and tell her I'm one of the good guys. Maybe helping you is how I start getting some of that back. Isabel emerged from the bedroom, wrapped in one of Marcus's shirts. How do we know we can trust you? Rodriguez turned to her, and his expression softened. You can't. Not completely. But I'm the only chance you have. Victor will be out of the hospital in a week. When he is, he'll come for you with everything he has. Every resource. Every killer. Every corrupt official in his pocket. You need someone on the inside who can warn you when he moves. Marcus felt the trap closing around them. Trust Rodriguez and risk betrayal. Refuse and face Victor's empire alone. What do you want in return? Marcus asked. When this is over, when Victor is finally brought down or killed, you testify about my involvement. Public confession. I go to prison. Pay for what I've done. But my daughter never has to know the truth about where the money came from. That's my price. Isabel looked at Marcus. What do you think? Marcus thought about wars and battles and the difference between winning and surviving. I think we don't have many options left. And I think a guilty man trying to make amends might be worth the risk. Rodriguez nodded. I have a contact in the Marshal's service. Someone I trust. He can set up new identities, relocate you to Canada or Mexico. But we need to move fast. I give you maybe 72 hours before Victor's network locates this place. Then we move in 48, Marcus said. Where do we meet your contact? Seattle. I'll arrange the details and call you with the location. Rodriguez handed Marcus a burner phone. This is clean. Untraceable. Don't use it except to contact me. As Rodriguez turned to leave, Isabel called out. Captain. Thank you. For trying to save us. Rodriguez paused at the door. Don't thank me yet, Miss Castellano. This story doesn't have a happy ending. Best we can hope for is you two survive long enough to find out how it ends. After Rodriguez left, Marcus locked the door and checked every window, every entrance. The cabin suddenly felt exposed, vulnerable. Do you believe him? Isabel asked. I want to, Marcus said. But trust is expensive when people are trying to kill you. They spent the next 2 days preparing. Marcus taught Isabel how to shoot, how to move tactically, how to survive if they got separated. She was a fast learner, fierce and focused in a way that made Marcus's chest tight with something he didn't want to examine too closely. On the third night, the burner phone rang. It's Rodriguez, the captain's voice crackled. We have a problem. Big problem. What kind of problem? Victor knows about Seattle. He's got men at the airport, the train station, every highway out of Montana. He's locked down the entire region. Marcus felt ice in his veins. How did he know? I don't know. Rodriguez sounded genuinely shaken. Either someone followed me or there's another leak somewhere. Doesn't matter. Point is, you're trapped. Isabel grabbed Marcus's arm, her face pale. What are our options? Marcus asked. None that I can see. Unless. Rodriguez paused. There might be one play. Risky as hell. Probably gets you both killed. Tell me. Victor's hosting a charity gala tomorrow night at his estate. Black tie event, 500 guests, full security detail. He does it every year. Raises money for children's hospitals while running a criminal empire. The irony's not lost on anyone. Why would we go there? Marcus demanded. That's walking into a death trap. Because it's the last place he'd expect you. Because in a room full of witnesses, he can't make you disappear. And because the FBI will be there, wearing wires gathering evidence. If you can get Isabel to the lead agent, she can give testimony right there. Public. Recorded. Unimpeachable. And if we can't reach the agent? Then Victor kills you both in front of 500 people and claims self-defense. But like I said, it's the only play you've got left. Marcus looked at Isabel. She met his eyes and nodded once. We'll be there, Marcus said. Send us the details. After he hung up, Isabel moved into Marcus's arms. This is insane. You know that, right? Completely insane, Marcus agreed. But also our only shot. Unless you have a better idea. I have an idea, Isabel said. But you're not going to like it. Try me. She pulled back, her expression determined. I surrender to my father. Publicly. Tell him I'm done running. That I want to come home. Get him to lower his guard. Then, when the FBI makes their move, I testify against him. Full cooperation. But you. She touched his face gently. You walk away. Disappear. Live the life you deserve. No, Marcus said immediately. Marcus. No. We face this together. I told you that. I meant it. You've done enough, Isabel insisted. You've risked everything. Lost everything. I can't ask you to die for me. Marcus gripped her shoulders, forcing her to meet his eyes. You're not asking. I'm choosing. Do you understand the difference? For 3 years I've chased monsters because I didn't know how to do anything else. Didn't know how to be anything except a weapon pointed at bad people. But you. His voice roughened. You make me want to be something more. Someone who protects instead of just destroys. So don't ask me to walk away. Because I can't. Won't. Not from you. Isabel kiss.